Today I'm interviewing Michelle Peck from Jamie Co. Hi, Michelle.
Hi.
Michelle, can you share a bit about your work? What do you do?
So basically, I want to call myself a jeweler, but yeah, so I do mostly designing of customized jewelry pieces. So I started like 4 years ago, mainly because of passion wise. I started to like gemstones, like faceted gemstones, and then after that, it just spin off from there. And then gradually it become a business, a home based business. So I run it at home. I help clients to curate gemstones that they liked and kind of like help them to design the jewelry and set that into 18K solid gold so-called pieces, correct? So mostly are all one of a kind. So I love the fact that it's one of the kind is because like it's very personal, and some of my jewelries are like when I customize for them, they are very meaningful. So it's like yeah, so somehow like the client come to me and they kind of like want to set it in a one of kind pieces, and that's the reason why I actually hold Jamaica until now. Correct.
Mm. Can you share what you were doing before doing gems?
Before I was in a non-profit organization, so I love working with children. I used to be a nurse, like in KKH, and yeah, so it's really a difference, right? Like I used to be a nurse, a pediatric nurse, and then after that, I worked in a non-profit organization with children and youth, and then decided to do a home-based business.
I see.
Yeah.
What made you decide to come out and do this on yourself, on your own?
Right. So basically, I have four children. So back then, it was quite challenging to have like four very young children. So my husband and I, we spoke about it, and we decided that me being home, guiding the kids, engaging them, and at the same time having a home-based business, we really give us the flexibility like to do so. And we really see a difference. It's really important for us, and yeah, so that's the reason why I decided to let go of my previous job, which I really love very much at the same time. I love to engage children too, and but seeing how we can engage kids at home and running the business at the same time really give us a fulfillment. Yeah, as both parents and a business owner. Yeah.
Wow, that's fantastic. Can you talk a bit about your educational background?
I'm a nurse, graduated from Nanyang Polytechnic. So basically, that's all I have. Yeah. So if you ask me, how do I uh come up to today, right? So it's mainly just purely like determination, perseverance, and the need to want to learn. So these are the few pointers that get me to where am I today. I don't have any jewelry background. I don't have any designing background. It's just purely all learning through experience, I would say. Yeah. So experiences, meeting clients, and all this actually gives me all the experience I need to be where am I today.
Wow.
Yeah.
At which point did you realize that this was financially sustainable for you and you didn't have to work at a normal job anymore?
Okay, so when I was like embarking on this journey on Jamie Cole, I was also like working full time and for about a year. So I work full time in my previous job in a non-profit organization, and I do Jamie Cole as a sideline. So basically I'm working every day. Yeah, so and then after that life just gets down to you, like because you have this mentality that you as a mom, as a wife, as you need to juggle all this. Like society just gives you this like norm that okay, you as a mom you have to juggle all this either way, like working and taking care of kids. Until there's one day that I felt that it's too much. I've there's just burnout. You just completely burn out. You're not yourself. You are not who you are anymore. You don't see yourself as who you are supposed to be like like you don't love yourself that much anymore, I felt. And that's when I like sit down, pause a while, go slow, and I decided to just quit my previous job, focus on myself first and Jamie Cole, and yeah, and that's how it kind of like be where am I today. I just like I felt that it's a very necessary choice. And after looking back, I realized that, you know what, it's not any way cursi, like, you know, like wasted or what. No, I believe that the journey that I have today brings me here, and then it's kind of like feel like a relief. Like, wow, actually, don't really need a 9 to 5 job. To be honest, everyone just tells you, you know, you just need to be working hard for your children and stuff like that. I say, but if you have the passion for something else to do what you like to do, and you don't have to stick to 9 to 5 job, you can have a balanced lifestyle. You can be doing what you like to do. You can be with your kids. I think you have to really question yourself what matters to you. Yeah, that's how I am today, correct? So yeah.
That's amazing. And you look really good for someone who is running a business and being a mom to 4 children.
For me, so for Jamie Cole, I kind of like, you know, kind of work and work and work and work until it's like, you know, it's like, okay, I need to really scale down. You know what? I need to scale down on this and that. I need to focus on myself. I believe that when you focus a lot on yourself, things just come naturally to you. That's what my belief is, and yeah, it did. So, you know, when you have that good energy, positive energy, right, you tend to like attract rather than you go and chase. So that's my stand. And what I do is that I focus on the present moment. I don't think too far off. I think that if you think too far off, that challenge kind of spin off and become a overthinking problem. That's what it is for me. So when at the present moment, if there's a challenge that I face, all I have to do is like just focus on it and be objective on what I can do for that particular issue. Yeah. For me, I don't term it as a problem. I don't see it as difficulties. I always like to have this mindset that it's a challenge, because there's no wrong in facing challenges. Challenges just makes us grow, makes us be better in your own terms. Like your way of being better and my way of being better is different. But for me right now, I felt that I need to focus on myself. And yeah, so when you focus on yourself to be better, to be a better person of who you want to be, not others, right? And we tend to grow from there. You tend to flourish. You tend to love life. You tend to like be more how to say, confident. We hold our boundaries. So all these things are very important, lah. Especially if you are a home-based business owner, right? You need to discipline in the sense like having the balanced lifestyle, because a lot of I would say, like, sometimes friends, they would say that, you know, if you work from home, you cannot focus, you have to continue working and you won't know where to stop. So that's when I think that focusing on yourself instead of like the business, focusing on yourself, and you tend to like flourish in both, in your personal life as being a mom and a wife, and also in your business. So yeah, so that's how I managed to balance both right now at this point in time. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Okay, do you mind sharing your monthly income? You can share a range because usually it can go up and down. Yeah.
Correct. So it really depends on the particular month. Like for example, I'm a mom. So usually in June holidays and December, it kind of like decline a little bit because I prioritize my kids well, like the time wise or quality time more. So it can range like between 5K to 35K. It's a big range, so it really depends on how well I actually want to get, you know, like try for. Yeah, correct. So in the beginning of this business, it was about 27K on average lah. Yeah, so because I was like, well, what, you know, like there's no balance. In the beginning, it was somehow like that, correct? Because we as home business, right? It's either you get like enough support or you have to learn all by yourself. Right, because it can either go both ways. For me, it's like I have to entirely like learn all by myself, because I don't have much many friends that can are also a home-based business that can really guide you. So mostly it's like I started off with working very hard first. Then I realized, hey, you know what? Actually, you need to have a balance lah. It's never enough. Like the money coming in, like if it's the highest, it's also not enough. I mean, for some people, they will term it that way, right? So I kind of like set it in the middle. Like I can earn this much and I can earn the highest there's high and low in either way, but I don't see it as in when it's low, it's something that I need to be stressed about, because when income come in, we will see it as in like it's a good thing, like regardless whether is it more or less, right? Of course, I do have like a cap, like in the sense like how much I can receive per month as per salary, so that I can finance, like for example, the house, the kids items for kids, right? So we don't really like spend a lot here, to be honest, right? So we have like finance like sheets, like we will keep track of our finance, not to overspend. So as long as it hits our minimum, for me, I'm good with it. Yeah. So
That's good.
yeah.
Yeah, it's really true. Sometimes it's not just only about the money.
Yeah.
It's also about the quality of life that you want to have.
Correct. I personally felt that if like money, I mean, it's numbers, right? We cannot justify how much we actually need, right? Only you yourself can tell yourself like how much you actually needs it to be happy. For me, money, you have so much money. I always felt that it's happiness don't depends on it, to be honest, right? It's how we live our life, how we manage our stress, the pressure of us, and how we see things in life matters most. So that's how I managed to, yeah, do right now. I guess
Mm.
like I'm doing still okay in a sense, but I'm also learning every day. So today is a learning process. Tomorrow is another learning process. So we are learning every day. So there's no right, no wrong for yourself and myself too. Mm.
True. Can you walk us through a day in your life?
My daily routine.
Yeah.
Okay, so to be honest, I don't have a fixed daily routine. I will go according to how I feel that my day should be like. So basically, like so firstly my clients come to look for us. So basically Jamie called to book an appointment to come and see gemstone. So that's quite fixed and set, right? Mostly my appointments are in the evening. Sometimes during the daytime I do have, depending on clients' availability. Most of the time is during the weekends. So weekends, our whole appointments between 11 to 4. So weekends, sometimes I do have like 1 to 2 appointments to run. And then for the weekday wise, in the morning, usually it's like me time, my time, because the children all go to school, my husband go to work. So I always tend to focus on myself first. I think well-being for myself comes first. Then after that will be answering of inquiries from the Instagram, and taking videos, photos for clients, and I also do personalized engraving boxes. So that's where it happens in the morning. I will help client to design, and then once we finalize with the design, I will engrave for them. And then in the afternoon, when the sun is good, I will take videos and photos for those available gemstones for client to see. So usually I will post them in my Instagram story. That's where clients will browse through those, especially those current ones, and they pretty much know where to find all my available gemstones that are in my stories. So I will post in it, and I'll answer any inquiries throughout the whole day. And yeah, so pretty much like that. And during weekdays, sometimes I will like to deliver the bespoke to clients, because I understand they are quite busy during the weekdays, and that's an opportunity for me to also walk around, to exercise a little bit, walk around, and then hand the jewelry to them. Yeah, so I quite like that lah. Yeah, I quite like that process of it. Yeah.
Great. Okay. Thanks for sharing. Now we move on to talk about your business.
Okay.
How do you attract clients and retain them?
Okay, so basically, our start was through Instagram ad. We do Instagram ad quite a fair bit. That's our main marketing strategy actually. So after that will be like word of mouth. Will be like my client's friend, client's sister-in-law, brother-in-law, family and relatives. So that's most of them are from there too. Yeah, friends and relatives. So yeah, so mostly actually word of mouth right now. Yeah, sometimes occasionally I will do a ad. So I always believe I have to believe what I'm doing in order to attract clients, right? So I think that's the heart of you, core value of your business. Why you do what you do. I think that is very important when you are communicating with clients, especially when they come for appointment or even through text. I always believe that when you text and whatnot is how you send out your energy. So I basically I do that most of the time, and that's how I felt that clients felt. It kind of resonate and vibe with them.
Wow.
So yeah, so I believe in that too. And when I do my work, I'm always genuinely wanting to do the best for them. So I think it has to come from the heart. When you
Mm,
do something, number one, it has to come from the heart.
mm,
Then we talk about finance. Yeah,
mm,
but what we do is we need to be passionate with what we do. They have to sense that in order for them to trust in us and to even like, share with people, right? So I always believe that what we do is also very important. Every little bit details is very important. So I like to put it across to client and say that, you know what, I value this journey a lot. I really love to put my heart into this because it's bringing you like peace, love, and joy. So after when they customize this bespoke, I'm really very glad that I do this journey with them. I would say that, oh my god, this journey has been such a wonderful, like bespoke service that we can provide for you, and every details that I put my heart into it, it really like matters a lot to me. So
mm,
as much as it's important to them, it also matters to me, and that's why I felt that why clients will keep I won't say keep coming back, but resonates with me so much more is because of what I feel about it and how I do it.
mm, mm.
Yeah, more like that. So I don't have any like certificate for jewelry making. I don't have all this. So it's more of like I think the connection is very important. Yeah, connecting with them and the main thing is more of like you're doing it because you want to do it. You're doing it because your heart tells you that you know yeah, your heart tells you to do it rather than how much money I need to make to earn or how much is this going to cost and stuff like that. So because we don't have an overhead count, one thing is that we run business at home, so we kind of like save a lot on that, I would say. Yeah, so right.
Have you ever considered like doing live stream?
Live streaming not so much. I'm not very person like in a sense like I like to do intimate. No, like I like to do
One
like
to one?
sorry.
Like you would prefer to do one to one rather than one to many, is it?
Yeah, I felt that yeah, so I felt that personally I like to do one to one because I can really focus on them.
Oh,
So one part is that like I like to focus on them, and I felt that one to one really how do I say brings a lot much more value to my business. Yeah, I would say so, or even to their bespoke jewelry. Yes, correct.
okay. I just felt like that was something I wanted to say because of everything that you mentioned earlier about projecting this energy. And then I felt that if you project this energy through live stream, I think that would be quite interesting.
I think maybe we can, I mean there's no trying, right? We are all so
Yeah.
live stream is probably one. Yeah, we can consider.
Okay. Can you share any books or podcasts or person of influence, any resource that greatly influence your work and your attitude?
I think it comes from many different places. I don't have one fixed uh person that I look up to. Basically anybody that I felt if I resonate with them, I will just take their advice. So if you ask me for a person's name, I'm not very sure because it comes from everywhere. So like you know how when we scroll through the Instagram, we kind of like follow people who are like giving inspirational talks and those like spiritual guidance. So I just pick from where I felt that it's helpful at the point of time because every stage in our life we requires different help, I would say, or different kind of support. So for books wise, I do read on them too. But it really depends on that particular journey that I'm facing with. Uh, not so much lah. Yeah, correct. If you talk about books, I can't remember the names. I do read them. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, correct. So I do read them as well. But yeah, I'm the kind of person who don't really remembers like everything. I
Mm,
just pick on those that is very informative for me at the point of time. So what I have shared with you, basically, I've gathered this information through books and podcasts as well. So in the past, I used to be like very kanchong, very fight and flight. I always like have to like find a way that is only narrow tunnel vision, right? But because of the books and the podcasts and spiritual guidance that I receive, right, it kind of widen my perspective. I kind of have more confidence and boundaries that really make me be who am I today. Yeah, correct.
That's fantastic. I could really sense that.
Oh,
That you speak, yes, yes, I could really sense it. Sense it.
right. It's
Yeah.
it's a journey. I would say yeah, it's a journey. Yes, the healing journey is never linear. So it's like, yeah, you have to go through what you need to go through to be here. Correct.
Stages, basically, different stages and different steps to take. Mm.
Correct. That's for sure.
Mm.
Mm.
Okay. Have you ever experienced a failure that set you up for later success?
I won't come as failure. It's more like obstacles or challenges, right? I don't see failure as something that you know, when you hear the word failure, it kind of like something that you did not do well and will not do it again. So I always term it as in lessons. Your lessons in life, there's only wins and lessons. So lessons learned is like how we you know, I don't really communicate much. Like I usually speak more to like children and kids because it's been my job for the past 8 years or even longer because I work in pediatric ward. So I speak to or engage more with children, right? So for me, when I have to come out and speak to adults in a appointment setting, it was a huge challenge for me, to be honest. In the first part, when I meet client, I don't even know what to say, or how am I going to communicate and put across what I want to say to. So that's the part of a challenge for me, and how I meet clients who I would say have higher expectation, I would say. So their expectation may not be able to meet, and sometimes it can turn the other way around. So the challenge I meet was that I'm unable to fulfill their needs. So what I have learned in the past, I used to be like, oh my goodness, how am I going to do this? I feel so stressed. I cannot meet their needs, and they're gonna feel very upset. They already like wanted a refund and stuff like that, but it's beyond my control, right? But I'm stressing on it every day. So it's like sitting on a rocking chair and rocking you to and fro, but you're going to nowhere because you can't solve it. I mean, there's no way that you can part. So what I have learned today is that I can only control the things I can control. If I can't control the things I can't control, I have to put it like very factually. But I won't take their emotional like projection, because I can understand that it's no wrong of them projecting what they feel, because that's how they feel, right? But on my end, yeah, I need to be very calm. I need to be calm and collective and being objective. So that's how makes me be a better communicator, right? So it was never a challenge as of right now today, because I put a stand. I put a stand. Hey, you know what? You need to have boundaries. You need to know how to speak to them, but not dismissing them, because you can understand how they feel. They have every right to feel how they feel, right? I can only ask on my end, how can I make it better? On the part that I can control, I can do that. But on those part that I can't control, I'll just have to just say that, you know what, this issue can be handled, can be settled. Like what works best for you. So I have clients like yeah, so they are quite I would say like they really hope that it can work out, but it can't. But you know, sometimes they project their emotions on you. Then that's your part that you don't take in on them, right? You don't take on their emotional projection, because yeah, their emotion projection is got to do with them, I would say. But in a sense, like there's no wrong as well. I hear them, they wanted it this way. Yeah. So what can you do on your part, right? If some people, they will just stress, they were like, oh no, what am I gonna do? Like, then you get stressed at everybody. That's how I feel in the first place. Like, oh my god, I'm projecting on my husband, I'm doing it on my kids, I stress, I can't think that much, but it's not gonna be very helpful, right? So take a step back, think it through, pause a moment, you know. Not all things need an instant like how do I say, correction or stuff like that. Yeah, just pause it through. It is nothing too serious in that way that we need to stress ourselves to this point. Because when we pause, when we take a step back, our mind tend to be very, very much clearer on how we want to solve this problem or whatever challenges that I said, right? So yeah, I always think that if you are working in business, especially with people, most of the time we need to be very collective and calm. Right. So I always felt that if you are like I say, like the people person, like you learn how to set boundaries, you learn how to not take things personally. I felt like right. So it kind of like drain you sometimes when clients, like, you know, when they they kind of drain you sometimes, but if you see their point of view, you will understand. Like, you will say that, yeah, they wanted it right. They wanted it so much, right? So if you see always their point of view, you will not have this like, oh, this client again is coming back at me. No, you won't have that feeling. You will have that sense of like, how can I make it better for them? I know they wanted this badly. I can't control this process. How can I make it better for them? So I think it's more of like how you condition your mind, how you think, how you are going to send this off as a positive energy rather than very negative. Because once it tends to be very negative, it will not help you solve the problem. You will not be able to be there to be able to help to navigate like the direction where you want to go, like what you want to do, or how you want to go solve it. Yeah, so that's my point, as in like when you're home based, especially like meeting clients, and that's how I feel lah, basically.
Usually for me, when I do encounter clients like that, I will simply refer them to someone else. Yeah, there's always options out there. So I
Right.
guess in that way they don't feel stuck. Like,
Right.
they know that, oh, like if I don't get it from you, I can get it from somewhere else.
Yes, correct. So we also my husband and I actually, he kind of helped me a bit, so I do share with him. So a lot of times when clients couldn't get what they want, for example, if they already come out with a bespoke piece, right, and then what they want, so usually we ask like, do you want us to rectify this issue for you, or otherwise we have to refund you that piece, and you know what, the best thing is to get somewhere that you felt you're comfortable with, like they will guarantee giving this bespoke. So yeah, there are multiple times that I've done it this way too. I always believe that although like I would like to continue this with you, this journey with you, however, the priority has to be you. So oftentimes I do have clients that couldn't get what they want. I would tell them kindly, like, you know, there are other places that can really give you what you want. I may not be able to do so, but most of the time the client will still like to continue on.
Oh,
Yeah. So yeah, I have encountered this like last month. So the bespoke, right? I mean, we both try our best to fit it in, but we are unable to. The design still doesn't sit well in the design. So we can't. They kind of have a very specific design. They knew it themselves, so we all know it. Like, it's a specific design, and then it's very particular in the terms of like the degree, how high you want it to be, and this and that. There's no wrong. I mean, you have every right to want what you want for your bespoke. However, on my end, my crafters and myself, we are unable to deliver that. So I did share with them, hey, you know what? Really apologize that, you know, we couldn't do what you would like us to do. So I did offer them to like find someone else who can really craft 100% for them, so that when they receive it, I think it's very important that when they receive it, they have to be happy, right? So if it's for me, I'm able to deliver that. If let's say they receive it on my end, if they're not happy, I'm not too. So it matters to me. I mean, when they receive their bespoke, being happy, it matters to me a lot. So I'm okay to like say, hey, you know what? Maybe someone else can do it like somehow like what you want. I'm okay with that too. So there's a lot of time I voice out to them. I tell them, hey, you know what? It's okay. You know, there's someone else that may be able to meet your expectations. So yeah, so I'm afraid that I can't. A lot of times they will still want to continue on. Hey, you know what? Don't worry. Let's change design. so we have differences there, yeah, and oh, and indeed worked out for them. So yeah, and then they say, oh, they're happy with the design and stuff. Oh, okay, great. So yeah, full of trust and support.
It requires a lot of determination on your end also to carry on the project.
I think it's more of like, oh, one thing the best for them. Yeah, correct. Like, yeah, so nice. They still, give us the opportunity to carry on, And yeah, they took their bespoke already. So yeah,
Great.
we are very grateful for clients' trust and support. Mm.
Okay. Through your work, have you learned anything uh, helpful or advantages? Maybe some
Mm.
hack or shortcut or just a certain way to do things that is helpful?
I think there's no shortcut in the things that we do, right? We all learn from scratch. And how we can so-called term it as shortcut is to learn through your mistakes. Like the way we communicate with client, the way we do things. Like okay, so the if you ask me about shortcut is that I'm not like I mentioned, I don't learn design like designing course or jewelry designing. So I do a lot of tweaking. I will stop, pause and think as usual and then say, hey, you know what, maybe I can do my design through Procreate. So it's much easier for client to visualize and understand. So sometimes the CAD rendering. So basically, when the design is finalized, there's this CAD rendering, and sometimes it's not so how do I say, not so appealing. I would say to client because they only see like images from there. It's not the real bespoke that they see. So what I do is that I actually learn the Procreate, edit from there, and I send the client. And I felt that it's much better. It's easier to communicate, easier to make changes, and that really helped me a lot. So using Procreate and designing on your own, learning to design, even though it may not be like 100% as what it is, but clients still appreciate it because you're doing something that for them, right? Extra, because apart from CAD rendering, I'm doing Procreate for them to visualize and see, and that's really helpful. So in terms of learning how to do shortcut, I believe it's more of like finding creative ways on how you can help client to visualize, especially on my end, visualize the design and do any tweaking in your end first. And then it kind of like spin out the process a little bit faster.
Mm.
So that's the part that I thought maybe, yeah, it is a shortcut. In the past, we don't have this. We kind of like toggle to and fro. Oh, it's not like that. So we have to revise the CAD rendering. It takes a while more, like a week longer. And I felt that that kind of delay is not something that I want client to have. So I usually do audit on my end first, most of the time. And then after that, you kind of speed off the process a little bit more faster.
Mm. Okay. So moving on to your mental and emotional state as an entrepreneur, what do you most enjoy about your work?
My work that I do is mostly one of a kind jewelry pieces. So most of the time, clients came by to me because of remembering their cat. So I like the fact that I can design in a way that really resonate with the client a lot more. I'm very keen for details, so I will ask them what's the color of the cat eye, what's the cat name, and how does she look like. So I really pull out all these details first. I like it because it's very personal, and the fact that I can be creative about it, design it in a way that client will like, wow, like it kind of sits well with me, makes me very happy. Like I find satisfaction in there. So it's all the little details that in my bespoke that I am, how do I say, putting my heart into, like the birthstones. What do you like? You like cats a lot. You want to have paw prints engraved behind your band. So these are the small little details that I really enjoy doing it. Yeah. So the designing part, I will usually hear from clients first. I will hear their stories like, oh, I really love spider webs. Oh, you love spider webs. So I will include it in the details, and when I design it, I will make sure there's a spider web inside. So yeah, so that's the joy of like, you know, in doing this business. Yeah.
Okay. When you feel overwhelmed or unfocused, how do you cope with?
I pause.
Mm.
I pause first. Yeah. So for me, what I've learned is that pausing works a lot for problem solving, for tackling of any challenges. You pause first. You don't think of the problem first. You don't think of the challenges first, because when you feel very overwhelmed, your brain doesn't focus. It's like all over the place, right? You start to get stressed, pressured, and it's not gonna help you solve any issues. So for me, the advice I give is to pause. when things don't go right the way that you wanted, pause. Usually when we pause, our mind is kind of like blank. And when our mind is blank, we will slowly rewire it in a way like, hey, you know what? Oh, maybe actually you don't need to think so much. This works. So sometimes when we are too stressed, when you're overwhelmed, our tunnel vision is like very, very narrow. We can only think like, oh, this is the only solution that we can go for. You know what? Oh no, then there's no other solution and stuff like that. Actually, in the problem solving, there's a lot of solutions, a lot of different ways. It's how we are going to approach it and try the different ways. Even if that way don't work, I don't see it as a failure. There's always another way. So we are always learning, right? So for me, I'll pause and then I try this method. If this method don't work, I wait a while and think, how am I going to solve this problem? So I tend, in the past, I used to be rushed to solve the issue. And what happens is that it backfires. It kind of like backfire on you, you know. Oh dear, you're sending me in this message that you know what, you don't know what to do. So yeah, so for me, I will tend to pause, think, and I open up the suggestion, how you're going to solve it. Yeah. So that's for me.
Okay.
Mm.
Thanks for sharing. Are there any other emotional struggles that you have as a solopreneur? So maybe like imposter syndrome or burnout or anything like that?
For me, I felt that sometimes I'm alone, right? So you do things alone. You are the only one that like meet client. You're the only one that knows what you know. So a part of in the past, I used to be like very inferior, like, hey, you know what? Well, I don't know a lot about this. How am I gonna do it? Like, I don't even sign up for a course and stuff like that, right? Because you have kids, you can't go for a class like how you want to do in the past. But of course, there are ways to learn. They are through YouTube. They are through your clients. Clients are the biggest teacher for me. I felt they are the biggest teacher. So I view it in that point of view. You know, okay, they are the teachers. They are teaching me what to do. We all learn vice versa. I'm not 100% like a professional, I would say. So when I feel like alone, I tend to like reach out to friends. They are a source of support. Actually, some clients are my friend too, so they are client and friend. Yeah, so I do share with them like around like some of the struggles that I have, and I think that's why I felt that it's very important to really reach out to people, especially when you're home based. If you have kids and you know your husband's out working, you have kids to juggle, and you're alone, you need to find support, because if you are always by yourself, you tend to think more. You tend to like, oh, I'm stressed. How am I going to do this? I'm always alone and stuff. Like, actually, you're not. You have like people there to help you. You just need to open up that door and reach out to them. So yeah, I always felt that it's very important as a support. Like finding friends, client turn friends. I actually do speak to them. Yeah, correct. So they also teach me a lot of things. And if you don't see it as in you're a client and I'm the business owner, no, I don't really see that. I see it as in like, no, like they're all people. We are all here to learn. We are all here to like reach out to one another in case you need help. So that's my point of view lah. I feel overwhelmed and stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay. What would you say is your key to success?
My key to success is to take the first step first. Success is viewed differently from everybody. What success to me is success different. I mean, it's a different type of definition from you, right? So for me, taking a first step is already a success, right? Taking that first move is already a success. If you think back 4 years ago, that first step was a success to where am I am today. So every day is a success if you are waking up telling yourself, hey, you know what, you can do it. That is already a success for me as I educate my kids, right? What is success to you? Like your first step is, I mean, you waking up to go to school is your first step, right? Rather than lying in bed and thinking that you can't do it. I always thought that it is very important on how we frame our mindset on how success is like. So I always felt that success is like the first step. Yeah, that's it. Taking that first step. After that, then think about it. Yeah, because it's that first step that leads you to where you are, right? Sometimes like, how will you know where you are in 5 years down the road? You don't take the first step, right? So that's success is for me, like taking that first step.
That's interesting. Okay, now moving on to your future plans and then like wrapping up the interview, right? Do you see yourself expanding your business or hiring other staff?
Okay, so in terms of like hiring staff, I mean we do have that notion of like having it grow bigger overseas because we do have overseas client. Um, there is some talks about it with my husband to want to venture out, but there's we are not a business person and stuff like that, so we need to find out more details about it. We did talk of hiring people, but at the same time, we are quite good being where we are now. Right, so we are quite satisfied. I say we don't want to like overwhelm ourselves with like things like that first because my youngest is still 4 year old, so I'm focusing on my family a lot more. But at the same time, I'm also balancing my home based business. So if you are going to like expand it, means you need to focus more time, right? So if my kids are all older, I'm definitely looking, into expanding it. Mostly is overseas, like maybe Malaysia, Indonesia, or yeah, places like this because they are close to home, so it's easier to manage. Right.
Okay. What would be your advice for other solopreneurs who want to get started?
Oh, okay. So first thing is to believe in yourself, right? Believe in yourself first. If all else can't work out, there's always another route. There's no one fixed route to where you want to go. Sometimes we all need to take a detour, right? Detour to be where we want to be, for example. I think it's firstly is believing in yourself. If you don't, it's very hard for you to take that first step. So it's all about the mindset, I feel, right? Be it whether like you have a vision for yourself or not, that is already believing yourself to be there. So executing it is one thing, right? So yeah, like what I mentioned is that taking the first step is very important. You don't have 10 steps in front, you just need that one step. Because if you can't see yourself in 100 steps in front, that's okay. Taking that one step is good enough. That's how we started off with Jamie Cole too. We take the first step, baby steps first, and big steps, and look how far like we have come, right? How far we have grown as a person and as a business. So yeah, I think that let's not stress about the future. Sometimes, focusing in the present moment or how far you can go first. Take that first step first, and then after that, you plan the next. Mm.
What do you think it is bad advice that they should ignore if they want to get started?
Bad advice. I don't really hear it as bad advice, but advice that's not suitable for them. I would say so because all advices give, I think, is somehow got to do with their own thinking lah, own perspective. So if you talk about bad advice, is someone who pulls you down, like who says that, hey, you know what, wow, this one cannot work out here lah, or hey, you can do it or not, your mom of four, you can handle or not. So I feel like these kind of advisors are the ones that you think for yourself first, like, hey, are you sure what they are saying is true to you? So I always felt that like sitting down and thinking it through first, and then asking yourself, is this really what you want in the end? Right? I think it's most importantly. I think advice is sorry, there's no bad advisors, but more advisors based on personal perspective. So there are advice given, it may be of a concern. It can be of a concern, it can be their own way of how they want to do business. So I felt that if you go on with the advice and you didn't make it, I felt that it's still something to learn. I felt that these advisors are putting you somewhere, right? If it's not a good advice, okay, what can you learn from this? So I feel that there's no right or wrong path in the end. I always felt that if you go on a path that doesn't lead you to where you are, what have you got to learn from this path? There's always this path that's important to lead you to where you are. Maybe it's to learn how to communicate. Maybe it's to learn, oh yeah, my business, I need to learn about this. Yeah, I came in this path. It's not a right one, but yeah, maybe it's for me to learn to go where I want to go. So that's my thinking. I felt that there's no right or wrong advice. I felt that it's how we take it in. If we decided to follow it, it's meant for us to learn something. It's meant for us to improve ourselves, to be where we want to be. Yeah. So my thinking.
You know what I see you doing is in the future that you might become like an inspirational speaker to to other female business owners maybe.
Oh, you're too kind.
Yeah, this is like it's quite obvious that you do have that kind of like spirit, that energy, and you have achieved like success in that way, you know. I mean, it is sustainable for 4 years, and on top of that, you are a mom of four, which is just it's a lot. It's a lot, really. That might be your next step, you know. Yeah, just
Yeah.
keep
Well, I
it
haven't thought about it. Yeah.
just keep it in mind, lah. No hurry, no hurry, because it's a lot.
Oh, I got chills now. Yeah, correct. I mean, it is helpful to share. At first, I was thinking, oh, I'm not very good, like, like talking to people and stuff like that. Yeah, but I thought maybe this is a chance to speak to you and to, like, open up and share. I think it's a good way, lah. Yeah. It's good.
People really want to know when they see someone who is achieving this kind of life. They really want to know what's going on behind it.
Right.
The thought process, you know,
Right.
and you know, it's not something that happens overnight. So when you come
Yeah.
out, yes, it's not something that happens overnight. So when you come out and talk about it, oh, this is the process, this is the mindset, and then this is the change that I needed to do, you know, internally. Then they realize, oh, I have to do that to achieve that kind of life that you have also.
Correct. I think a lot of times it's you,
Mm.
myself, right? It all begins from you. It's you versus the situation. You versus them. I always say that every thinking that we have comes from you. So if you can sit back and think positive thoughts, like, you don't have to be like picking to be a positive thought, but you know that there's an issue, but you think that there's a positive way of handling it. You can choose it, right? Rather than having a negative way, and then you go for it, because we are people. You see, we are so powerful. We are very special. We can choose our thoughts. We can choose if you want to be better. We can choose it. I mean, if we have a choice, right? Why not? And it makes
Yes.
life easier too.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay, so wrapping up, is there anything you want to offer to the audience? Any promos, or you have certain like packages or certain things that you're offering from your business?
All from the business from my soul. If you are here wanting to customize a bespoke piece, it 100% guarantees from my soul and heart. It's like I'm very keen for details, and I guarantee you will have a very lovely time here, customizing if you want to. Yeah, my doors are open, I'm always at home. I'm a home studio.
Okay.
So yeah, anytime, yeah.
Are there any connections you're looking for your business?
I think connection. Could you elaborate a little bit more, like what connection you are referring to? Like,
Looking for any specific target audience or any
oh,
partnership? Yeah.
right. So usually I always tell my husband, says it, whatever I brief forth are the people that will come to me. So basically my connections wise are already quite well, like in a sense that they know that our business are mainly doing like one of a kind pieces, like fully customized pieces. So they come here for the interest of having the very detailed bespoke piece. So I always like to say that the same thing again. Our notion here is to really like customize something that they like. No jewelry too big, too small. I always feel it's mostly coming from the heart that matters the most. So a lot of clients come here for that. They know that I'm very keen into looking at the small little details. So I think that's the main call actually for my business. A lot of people term as jewelry business means customizing jewelry and then make it into like a piece, and that's it.
Okay.
Right? For me, yeah, correct. It's more like going deeper in meaningful pieces. Actually speaks a lot more. It can be self-love. It can be a piece that you like very much and customize into it. It doesn't need to be coming out with an entire different design. You may be like, oh, I like this gem and I like this design very much. So yeah, I mean, that's the most important thing, isn't it? It's something that comes from your heart and you wanted it, and when you wear it, you feel happy. And yeah, I think that's a very important thing for me.
Okay. Great. Okay, cool. So the last thing is, where can we go and learn about your business? So you can share your website or your socials with us?
We only have Instagram. It's to Jamie Cole _. So GEMYCO _. So we only have that platform. Correct. So if they want to connect with us, just DM us and Ask question. It can be anything. No question is a silly question.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. This is the end of the interview. I'm gonna stop the recording.
Okay.